our next guest is a talented young actor who's co-starring in the biggest movie in the world. It's called Top Gun Maverick. It's in theaters now. Please say hello to Danny Ramirez.
Better now. This is unreal.
Congratulations on this, the enormous success. It took forever to come out,
Took
but
forever,
it
yeah,
did.
yeah. But I'm glad it finally came out, though.
Are people approaching you a lot now and saying they saw you in the movie?
Well, no, so I recently went to New Hampshire for a hike to take my time away from
That's a
the
long
chaos
way
of
to
it
go
all.
for a hike.
Yeah, yeah. Well, no, it was during opening weekend, and I'm just like, I was invited by a family friend to go out and just like remove myself from the chaos.
Oh, really?
And then so drove back 6 hours, forgot about the movie except the group chat, which I'm sure you've heard about, which is on Top Gun, we all have like, it feels like a family group chat. So
oh, yeah, one of the guys told me about this. All the guys, like the main guys, are on this.
Well, and Monica, too. So it's Monica, Jay, Greg, Tarzan, which...
Tarzan is his nickname, yes.
Miles, Glenn, and Tom is on a different thread, but it's all of us.
Tom's on the no screwing around thread?
Yeah, he's on... With the one that we have, I always send everyone's GIFs of their previous work. So if Miles ever says something dumb, I send him like a Whiplash GIF. Glenn, I send the Scream Queens GIF. Jay, obviously Insecure. But yeah, so we were just keeping up with what it was doing office numbers wise, and it was insane. It was just crazy that it was finally happening, and
because you really don't know if people are going to go cram into a theater and watch it, right?
Yeah, well, because it feels like a little bubble that like you're hearing all the great things about it, because like we know how good it was.
But they say that even when it's projected on a screen, the jet engines themselves kill COVID.
I heard that too.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Tom told me anyway. So the movie's a huge success, and you know, well, I mean, obviously it's a huge success. And you're working with Tom Cruise, and we've had a number of actors from the film on the show, and everybody has a great story about Tom. I'm wondering what the story behind this is, because this seems to be in kind of off-duty type situation.
So that actually, my last day filming, we were flying up in I don't want to spoil anything, but it was a very intense flight sequence. And we were up by the mountains. And so I land the F-18, we take the little memory card out, we go into a briefing room which has like 40 or 50 people, pop it in, we see the footage, it's unreal. Everyone's clapping, I hear like, that's a picture wrap on Danny Ramirez. Joe, I shake Joe's hand, Jerry, Tom. And then in the middle of that, Tom is like, hey, you going to LA? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, grab your bags. So then Tom, on the final day, flies me and Tarzan to LA on his PJ. And he pilots us into this like private airport. We land, we take that picture, and then right after he's like, you guys are the next great stars. You guys gotta take this to the next level. Well, I appreciate it. And it's this beautiful, beautiful like just speech that he hypes us up with, and I've never felt more inspired than that moment. And then just like that, he pops up his helmet, gets on his motorcycle, and just zips away. And just like, even, like in 2 seconds, I couldn't see where he was at. So I was like, was this real? And then, yeah, that was...
Now, do the other guys on the text chain know he gave you guys that speech and potentially not them?
I mean, I remind them of it all the time.
You do, okay,
yeah.
all right.
I'm just like, remember who's taking this to the next level.
That's like just, I mean, it almost seems like a lot of work for Tom Cruise to be so Tom Cruise-y all the time.
It's actually so easy. I think he makes it look easy, but it's just like he's just Tom Cruise. There's no other way to put it. Like, Jay has a story that when he first met him, he takes off his helmet and it just disappears into thin air.
The helmet?
The helmet disappears and he just goes full stride right into a handshake. And you're like, how did that happen? Yeah.
Where did you grow up?
So I born in Chicago, grew up in Miami, so I'm a big Canes fan, throwing up the U.
You grew up in Miami from Chicago. Oh, that's quite a transition.
And then went to NYU.
Did your family come to the premiere? Did they go to see the movie, or what did they do?
Yeah, my mom saw it in Mexico, Miami, and then there's a screening in Colombia for a big chunk of my family. But
Wow.
During the Mexico premiere, my mom was like, "Weren't you afraid of flying?" And so I started the whole project by being deathly afraid of flying.
Oh, really? Did
Yeah.
you tell them that beforehand?
No, I lied on the
Yeah,
audition.
right. You have to lie.
We had to sign the paper, essentially a waiver, saying we weren't afraid of flying. And obviously, it's too big of an audition, so I lied. And little did I know, Joe then calls me a week later, and he's like, "Hey, by the way, there's this entire training schedule that you're a part of." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And so we had 40+ hours of flight time. But so when I told her that I was, like when she saw it and she remembered this moment when I was a little kid in Mexico, I had my grandma tie these two like toy tracks that were like kind of, like straightaways. I had her tie them onto
Like Hot
my
Wheels
arms.
tracks?
Hot Wheels tracks. And they kind of looked like wings or airplane wings. And so she thought I was just gonna run around the front yard and just kind of like zoom around. But instead, I climbed on the outside of this railing onto the second floor, and I just like looked out into the horizon, and I just leapt. And I thought I was gonna fly, and essentially this lady that was selling tortillas found me unconscious on the ground.
What?
And she lets out this unreal scream, and the next thing I know, I'm waking up in my aunt's arms, like bawling, with this massive like bump on my head. I might still have it. And I was just crying, and I remember I blamed the wind conditions as to why I didn't fly.
The wind conditions?
Yeah, it was just,
Like a young meteorologist.
I needed an excuse.
Is that why you're afraid to fly?
Well, I think that's what started the complex.
But wait a
you know?
minute. You didn't fly. That was the problem. It wasn't that you did not fly. You fell. You went.
Moment. When you look out into the horizon and it feels like you're gonna go somewhere. And then the next thing I knew, I was blacked out.
And hold on a minute. Now I'm thinking about the Marvel TV show, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Where at the end, Falcon, Anthony Mackie, hands you his broken wings, and he says something to the effect of, "Take these broken wings and learn to fly again. Learn to live so free."
Yeah.
Or maybe I punched that up a little.
I think you actually undersold it.
So now, so you are going to be the Falcon, right?
Well, I think I've taken to the skies.
You
I
have?
love the skies now more than ever. I love pulling G's. I think if I were to do that, I'd have to do it practically.
I see.
I can't go back now.
Right, no, yeah, you got to really, Tom would want you to grow actual wings and fly. That's how Tom would do
Well,
it.
I think I might try to find out where those Hot Wheels tracks are to try to grow from there.
Yeah, you might want to switch to Matchbox cars and see if those work
that
out
might
better.
Be it.
Yeah. Well, it's great to see you. Congratulations on the movie, and I'm glad you survived that horrific fall.
Failed attempt, yeah.
It's the movie's Top Gun Maverick. It's in theaters now. Danny Ramirez, everybody. We will be right back with music from Pusha T. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kimmel. If you want to see all our latest videos, click the subscribe button, and if you don't, click anyway and close your eyes when they come on.